Top of the morning to you, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on when you are watching this session. This is Lifestyle Segment right here at Prime Media TV. And as you can see, we have something really, really interesting for you today. Myself and Treasure are here to have this conversation with you. And you may want to introduce yourself. Me, I've introduced. They know me, right? You all know me.
All right, I am Living Treasure.
Okay, Living Treasure. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Since when did your name become Living Treasure?
I think I've introduced myself as Living Treasure to you before now.
Oh, wow. Maybe
Yeah.
I forgot. Well, I'm hearing Living Treasure. My brain is just reconnecting to Living Treasure again. But then our viewers have heard, and as you all know, I am Ayo. I will be your anchor for the lifestyle segment as always. And today we have a conversation, very interesting, and we're going to have a robust conversation on this Japa syndrome. I don't understand. So this is going to be our hot topic for today. But before we go into all that we have for you to discuss today, let's go on a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to the show. Okay, welcome back to the show. So we are looking at a conversation around Japa today. So we got this video online that caught our attention of a woman who said she used to be a strong girl in Nigeria, but as soon as she got to the US, she began to cry every day. And it brings us to the conversation. It brings us back to the conversation of Japa, as in she was crying back to back in about 5 or 6 slides of the video. She kept on crying back to back, and we're going to have a robust conversation on that. What should you know about Japa? There are so many angles to the story, but as soon as we see the video, we'll come back to have this conversation on this Japa. So very quickly, let's see the video. Yeah, we'll have the video now. All right, so this lady said as soon as she got to the UK, she couldn't help but to keep on crying. And I can only imagine, because I personally, I for one, I've always said that I don't know, a lot of people may have objections, but for me, I can't go to another man's country to go and start hustling again. I don't want to do that. I understand what it means to hustle as a Nigerian, even in Nigeria. And I can't really imagine that trauma of going to a place that I know nothing about, their food, their language, I don't know about their behavior, because I've once had this experience of I didn't stay with my parents for 3 years back to back. I was in a strange land, seeing strange faces. I understood the trauma and I understood that experience, and I really cannot begin to think of such experience again. But I would like to hear your own. What was the first thing that came to your mind as soon as you saw this video? Because that was the first thing that came to me, like, I've had this experience once, I don't want to have it again. So that was what came to my mind. So let me hear your own thoughts.
What Nigeria has become today is the reason why many people think the solution is to leave the country.
Yeah.
All right. It's a good thing if you are making that move and you have plans in place. All right. It's a good thing if you are planning to Japa, on the note that there have been proper measures, there have been proper preparation before time. Not just because you feel like, just like we have people who feel like going to marriage is the only way to escape parental disturbance. So you see sometimes people, even though that's not what we're talking about, sometimes you see people go into marriage because of pressure from parents. either as a man or as a woman. All right, not because they are prepared for it. So those people are liable to have issues in marriage. Now, when people travel out of the country because they feel like everybody is leaving the country, when they feel like this country is no longer safe, when they feel like there is no longer future in the country.
Let's get something straight though.
Okay.
Really, at some point before my own experience, I have this big sis that would say, as soon as I get out of the country, she was processing leaving the country then. She said, as soon as I get out of the country, say, all of you will leave the country because I cannot imagine you suffering and all of that. While I was younger, I I've always have this feeling like, one day I'll travel out of the country, I will enjoy myself and all of that. But with the way the economy of this country is, with the way we understand what is happening in this country, that even if you're earning as much as you're earning as much as you can think of, the fact remains that the economy has dilapidated.
Sure.
So people are thinking of leaving. So let's also be realistic that this economy is pushing people to leave.
Yeah.
So it is not like people feel like leaving,
Yeah.
but the reality of this economy is making them to leave the country.
I started on that note.
Yeah.
That the economy of the country is the reason why many people feel like the best way to escape this trauma. Nigerians are actually going through a trauma at the moment. A country that is blessed with so many things and still suffering the lack of those things. That is what we are experiencing. So now the hardship in Nigeria, bad governance in Nigeria, insecurity in Nigeria is the reason why even those that before now were not having the mindset, the notion of traveling out. It's a different if you're going out maybe to school, you're traveling abroad for a holiday to come back. It's a different thing. Those ones have planned it. They have a standard of living, a good living in Nigeria. They want before you can talk of going abroad for holiday, it means you have a good life in Nigeria. All right. So it's a different. But when people now feel like, let me just gather all I have and travel out, there is no backup. Should the traveling procession should it fail, what would be your backup?
Yeah, this thing you just said reminded me of a story of a guy where I was living before who sold everything that he had. He sold everything, and after selling everything, he discovered that the one who was even processing the visa and everything for him, the person was only scamming him. There's a story of another girl who said she wanted to do wedding and she sold ashwebi to people. No, she asked her friends to bring money for ashwebi. She collected their money and japa. The wedding did not hold. They didn't see their ashwebi. She just used their money to bid them farewell. And that's trauma again. We've had cases, I have the story of a friend who she owns a very good salon here in Nigeria, and she sold everything to the last thing that she had and use it to relocate with her family over there. And they have to start all over again. There's a story of this actor, Femi Brainerd, who as well is an actor doing well in Nigeria. When he sold everything he has, moved abroad and began to work as a taxi driver over there. And when he there was this interview he did with Teju Babyface. And it was then that he revealed that when Nigerians come abroad and see him doing taxi driving, they'll be like, Femi Brainerd, we used to know you. Like, you are very popular. What happened? They are always very surprised.
Now it's not, one thing now is that it's not about being popular in Nigeria. You can be popular in Nigeria and still be very poor. That is what the economy of Nigeria has reduced people to. And that is why you see that just a little case, you see some of these people you tag being popular coming out to beg for people's support. If being popular is also being rich in Nigeria, most of these people, we've had so many cases of people coming out on social media to beg for support. These are people that are very popular. All right. Nigeria has reduced, but now we are looking at the case of this young lady who said all she has been doing is crying in the UK. That is because probably what she anticipated, what she might have been told about Japa, once you get, it is not easy anywhere. It is not easy anywhere. The only thing is that the system there and the system here is not the same thing. But that you are not going to work is not true. In UK, I know I have lots of friends in the UK. There are so many taxis but they pay you well to be able to pay for the tax, to pay the tax, right? So to survive in UK as a single person is a very hard tax. All right, except if you go there as a couple, you are working as a lady and your husband is working, then you can be able to. But to survive in UK alone is very difficult. So on this note, I think I want to say that this thing is of two sides.
Okay.
One is the pressure from the governance of Nigeria that has pushed most of our youths, people who are talented in different fields, who should have utilized it in order to make Nigeria a better place. But because there is no hope for survival in Nigeria anymore, you are talented, you acquire skill, you are educated, and you are still poor. What is now the essence? So everyone now resorts to or conclude that it is by jackpying. Let me use that word. By when you jackpot.
No, do you know that jackpot is an English word now?
Even though it's not in dictionary.
No, it is.
In Japa.
It is in Nigerian dictionary.
Wow. I've not seen that. Maybe after this program, I'll go and check. Maybe what the Japa will have in the dictionary is actually the Japa Nigeria interpret it to be. All right, but I believe that word does not just fall from heaven.
Yeah.
All right. So if you are to travel out, you let there be measure. First of all, do you have a place to stay over there? Aside the promise by somebody. So sometimes they make it look like once you get you get abroad, it's like being in heaven. Everything has been set in place. There is job there. Okay, out there without green card, you cannot move freely. So you that have been used to a life of freedom in Nigeria, you can't be that free there. Just like the scenario you gave about yourself, you can't be that free there. There's limitation to what you can do. Just imagine you living with your parents and living with one family member. The freedom you exercise as one living with your parents, and that of somebody living with a family member and uncle, you are not that free when you are living with someone that is not your parent. So the same way, you are not that free when you are living outside your homeland. So, but Nigerians, our leaders has made this nation so toxic for us, for the citizen, that even in your mother's land, you feel insecure. In your mother's land, you feel like there is no hope for survival. That is why everyone is subscribing to jackpying. But to tell you the truth, sometimes it favors some people and sometimes it does not favor.
Yeah, that's why I actually want us to look at the story from different angles. Okay. For instance, the first angle I want us to look for is the fact that there is depletion in skilled ends in all of our sectors in the country, because we have professionals living this field. Look at the case of Femi Brainerd. He's a professional actor. He does these things so well. Now, he has left the field. Yes, fine. There will always be a replacement for anything you cannot do, or there will always be a replacement for you. That is a fact. There's nobody that is indispensable. Everybody is replaceable. But then we have a lot of professionals that are leaving the field, which is currently affecting our
the
health sector, especially the teaching sector, the tech. These are the sectors that are being affected the most. People in tech, you see that people learn tech skills now, not majorly because they want to function in Nigeria. They learn tech skills now because they want to use it as a soft skill to travel out of the country. And this is also part of things that will say that if people are preparing to jackpot, they should not just don't jackpot as I don't want to use
without
the word I want
any
to use.
skill.
Don't jackpot without having the knowledge that a monetary skill, a knowledge that you can monetize out there. Don't jackpot without having those skills. But first, let's look at it from the factor of the sectors that has been affected in the country as a result of this jackpot.
Okay.
Secondly, is the emotional toll on the parents. You are leaving families behind. These are your support systems. There are days that even when you are just fighting with your family members alone, that fight, say they fight them or they shout together. You can still see somebody to say, you didn't see me, you didn't ask of me. Somebody will call you. But it is not easy to do, if not for social media that you can easily reach out to. That's another part of the story. the emotional toll on the families you are leaving behind, and the effect on the individual. Because I see that that's what is wrong with this girl in this scene. That there's no support, there's nobody, there's no somebody hurts me at my place of work, you want to talk about it, there's nobody to talk about it to when you get home. It is just you in your closet, you alone, you and your head, before you get those support. So let's pick it from the sectors that will be affected when the people japa, the emotional toll on the parents, and the support system for the individuals themselves after japa. So let's look at it from this
All
angle.
right. You see, any tool that is well serviced will serve better. Now, when people, I want to digress a little. Now, discover that in Nigeria today, we hear cases of our politicians moving from one party to another party. Sometimes when they campaign under a party and they discover that the party didn't win, and you see them, decamping to the winning party, to the ruling party. All right, people want to be where they are, where things are happening. That is what is playing out. Now, people know. I once worked with a company, all right, and this company runs here in Nigeria. We, the Nigerians that are employed in that company, we are the one doing the major work. But there are people they call expertise. These people, some of them cannot speak English. They don't have the strength, the energy to do what we do. But they pay them more than we are paid. Meanwhile, we are the one doing the job in our own country. Now, their allowances alone is more than our salary. And we are the one doing the work. Now, in Nigeria, how are the health sectors, the doctors, the nurses, how are they being taken care of? Does the government take care of them? Now, these people know that these things are being appreciated, these skills are being appreciated somewhere else in the world, and they could find themselves there. Everybody wants to have a good life, Everybody wants to live large, and they know that they have these skills that can translate and transform their life, and they know they equally have access to be in a place where these things can be appreciated. I tell you, if you are treated well at home, just imagine the Nigerians in diaspora who are interviewed, and they are not even wishing to come back home if given money. That is how bad Nigeria has become. So I believe the thing should begin from, if the government can take care of these people, and they feel like, they say there's no place like home, and they feel like this thing I'm going out there for, I can actually get it even in my own homeland. What would be the need to desire to go out, leaving family, leaving so many things, loved ones? On the other hand, now the tech, I have someone in one of the country, and he said all he wants me to do for her is to just acquire social skills. He said is a selling skill in that country.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if Nigerians, these people, they know, our leaders know these things. They travel abroad. They see these things. Why do they find it difficult to replicate these things they see out there? They want to do it in their building. When you go to our leaders' houses, you see a replication of the standard of building out there in the country. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that it begins with the government taking care of these people, making them to feel that, to know that they don't need to go out. They say there's this vernacular saying that what you they find for Sokoto, they under your Sokoto. Once Nigerians see that what they are looking for abroad can be gotten in Nigeria, who will want to go through that stress of having to go there, work like a slave, having to hide? Sometimes you see Nigerians marrying the whites just because they need green card. You see them living in self-denial. Somebody who is married with kids in Nigeria want to deny being married just because he want to marry a white woman to get paper. All right. So if these things, we are rich in this nation, God has blessed us. If Nigerian government can make sure that what is prompting our youth to troop out of the country can be taken care of here in Nigeria, there will be no need.
You see, my concern is even the fact that this thing is really affecting our local projects.
Very much.
Because you see Nigerians, even when they are working with Nigerian owned sectors, they are not devoted to it. You see, they are devoted to it because of the money they want to make. I really can't wait I really can't wait to stop this work and just jump out of this country. The reason why I'm committed to this thing is so that I can gather enough money and leave the country. So this thing is further making this japa issue is further making people to leave the country for a good cause. You see that we are not even portraying the right image of the country. We are not portraying the right image of the country, and for the fact that this country is richly blessed. And you see our people in diaspora, why are you here? Greener pastures. Does it mean the grass on the Nigerian coat of arms is no longer green again? Is it that they've poured chemical on it and it is no longer reflecting
I want to say something. Funny enough, aside Nigeria being richly blessed, we the Nigerians, we are richly blessed with strength. Nigerians can survive anywhere, even in countries where the citizens are finding it difficult to cope with their weather. Nigeria go there and they survive the weather. So now you discover that it's the reason why there is nowhere Nigerians get to. They are not appreciated. They are not welcome, because when it comes to working, we have the strength to work. Now, the thing is our governments, they have a lot to do. Honestly saying, to be speaking, it's just like you are in a relationship. You don't value, as a man, you don't value your wife. You don't value your partner. You don't value it. That's why they say people don't know the value of what they have until they lose it. That is what is becoming of Nigeria. Before you know it, with time now, if what is happening in Nigeria continues, with time you discover that the potential youth, you discover that people who God has blessed with talent, with skills that can help elevate this nation, we all have this mindset is already growing rapidly. Mindset of you have to be abroad to make it. You have to travel out. You have to japa before you make it. Is spreading like a wildfire. And now we talk about the effect of japaing on parents. To be sincere with you, most parents now are the one pushing their children to japa. They feel like there is no hope for you in this nation. There is no Nigeria have nothing to offer you. So most parents are the ones sponsoring their children to japa. So they are not even feeling it. Now there is social media, there is video call and all that. So they believe that there is no good life without money. And truly, there is no good life without money. So when you make the money, you can come back and spend time with your family and all that.
But then we should also not forget that as we are leaving the country, we are building the country's ecosystem. We are building the other country we are moving to. We are building their ecosystem. We are building their economy, because even the skills that Nigerians has acquired, we are using these skills to advance on what they are doing over there. For instance, look at these tech skills
value what they have.
Because this tech skill that we are emphasizing on, we see that tech in Nigeria is not as it ought to be, for the fact that we are now in the 21st century. Okay. So we can as well learn this tech and see how we can build an ecosystem for ourselves in the country.
How do we implement that? If you are not given a platform, how do you function?
You see, the thing is that we are always waiting for people to give us platform.
Yes,
but we can actually create a platform for ourselves.
Under this atmosphere of Nigeria government, how do you create the platform?
You see, one thing that this economy is doing to creative Nigerian is that it is giving them room to provide solutions to problems. You see, look at when sachet water came out. It used to be ice water. Somebody thought about it that instead of selling ice water, we can actually make it in a sachet. And they went about it, and that's why we have pure water in sachet. So this is it. Somebody saw a problem, and there's need to provide solutions to. For instance, I have a friend in tech. She discovered that children are now very conversant with smartphone, and I really look forward to having this robust conversation with her. And if we can bring her on this show, I would really appreciate it. She discovered that children are now tech savvy. You see children, they 5 years. For instance, I watch a skit like that. The mother asks the children to go and bring their plate so they can dish the food for them. They went to bring the plate. Instead of bringing it on the table, they took the plate from the table and dropped it in the sink. And the mother was like, oh, you are pressing your phone, no problem. She poured the food for them on the table. You eat on the table since your phone has taken much of your attention. Then herself and her husband too is in tech. They discovered that what can we do? Even before she got married, she began to teach children on tech, on how they can be productive with their phones. These children began to create animation. She go from schools to schools, introducing tech to the children, that instead of your children, you can, as a parent, you can have access to what your children are doing on their phone. As a teacher, you can even have conversation with children. You can monitor the activities of your students even on the phone. Then she began to introduce so many things that parents thought their children are only being destroyed on the phone. Then she introduced these things to them. So this is it. She saw a problem. Children are becoming addicted to phone. How can we divert their attention? So that's why I said we should not keep on waiting on the government to do things for us. We can as well see that, okay, what can out of this problem, let's see how we can provide a solution, even as it is. So as we are learning these tech skills, we don't only learn them to japa out of the country. We learn these tech skills to see how we can further improve on ourselves, to the point. Look at this Sunday Onokoya that we are celebrating. He learned this how to play this what do they call this particular game that is bringing in money now. He learned what was that?
They swap, they tap.
No, not the taps. Oh, I don't want to mention, so we don't introduce something else to our. I've forgotten. How come I forgot this game? That's, oh my God, how did I forget it so soon? But as soon as I remember, I'll recall it. But this guy learned these skills here. He said from this skill, he began to know how to profile solution. It is not Scrabble. It is not Scrabble. It is like a Ludo. It is not even Ludo per se. I've forgotten the name of the game. I love to play it so much. I don't know how the thing managed to skip up my head. But then he said he learned it in Nigeria, and now he's using the chess. Yes, chess. I don't forget why I managed to forget it. So he learned chess, right, in Ikorodu, Lagos, Nigeria. And now the thing is bringing in money. So he's now teaching other children that you can see a problem, provide solutions to it, and use it to empower people. So this is my standpoint, that even as we are learning skills to japa, we can also learn those skills and empower ourselves, even in this country. But then let's also look at it from other dimension, that before people think of japa, what are the things that you should put in place? That's the next conversation, because I already said that there are so many angles to this story, but we are looking at possible ways to enlighten Nigerians. What are the measures we should put in place, even as we are planning to japa, so we don't end up japaing, and our case will be like this lady that keep on crying every day. For only God knows the reason why she's crying. But then let me hear from you on the necessary things to put in place before people think of japaing.
All right. You see, if proper measures are not put in place before japaing, it will be a case of from frying pan to fire. All right. That is why, like I mentioned earlier, that first of all, you must have a plan for where you are going to be staying. So you don't go abroad and start wondering about. Abroad is not like Nigeria where you can sleep on that bridge.
See,
all right.
And that's one. Sorry for cutting you short. That's one beautiful thing about Nigeria, that you can survive any situation. You can leave your village and say you want to go to another part of the country. You can easily talk to one or two without any plan. For instance, when I was in school, as at the time when I was doing my clearance, I had no accommodation. I began to talk to people, said, go to some sisters, go to some fellowships. And from there, all through my days in school, all through the 3 years I spent in school, I slept in a church. I slept in a fellowship, in the school fellowship there. I slept there for 3 years. So you can survive, but then you can't go to. But then continue your conversation. A story came to mind. I will see if I can share it before we wrap up.
Yeah. So to everyone planning to Japan is good when plans are put in place. All right. You should consider. I love the fact that so many people have those who understood this are those who usually, once they are making processes, they want to come and acquire one skill or the other. Go to some hospitals today, you see some auxiliary nurses. They are there not because of the intention to work in Nigeria. They have this intention of going out to go and work. So it is important to note that If you jackpot without any monetary skill that can generate or that can make you uh, uh, that can bring in money for you out there, you will cry. It's not easy anyway. All right. So somebody recently, one old woman was talking to me and he said, my son said, he said he loved me so much and he would love me to leave this country. That there is no hope, no hope for youth in this country anymore. So it was like, said I should say I can go and learn anything. I will just smile, I discovered that in life, to every counsel, there is a motive.
Yeah.
So and that is why you must understand the motive behind every counsel you are getting before taking action. If not, you'll be the one to suffer the consequences. So it was like, you can go and learn barbing, you can go and learn anything, so that when you are there, and truly, all right, I have a sis who is in Holland, and she said just to cut your hair is about to weave your hair. It's just about normal weaving now. Now you ladies,
I can even weave.
You can do 500 naira here in Nigeria.
I can weave.
He said to weave it there is like 150 euros. 150 euros currently now is going to 200,000. So you see, if you can just know how to weave hair alone, even if the whites are not patronizing you, there are Nigerians there who will patronize you. You'll be able to, just like you said, as a woman, you should, with mirror, you can be able to weave yourself. So now, these skills are not appreciated here in Nigeria. He said, just barbing of hair, to barb hair there is about, you see, 100 euros, So if I should know how to barb and I get there, if others are charging 150 or 100 and I decide to do my own for 50 euros, I am making huge money.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing now is, before leaving, whether your parents have the money to push you to leave, whether friends, somebody, sometimes the worst one is when you hear that a company want to sponsor you to come over there. When you get there, these people, sometimes it's a big trap. When you get there, what they told you is not what you're going to meet. And because you are there, you are there. There is nothing you can do. You must work to pay back the money they use in processing. So don't go outside. Don't japa without a plan, without a skill that can generate money for you. If not, when you get there, you'll be stranded. And don't forget, once you are there, it's not Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can enter night bus back to Akwa Ibom.
Except if you want to fly.
All right. So even there, I don't think disappearing works. Sure, you get over there. I don't think here now you can disappear and get back to Benin. All right. But
What do you mean?
Over there, does not work that way. Once you are there, you just be crying, just like the video we saw. So ensure that you have a skill that can bring money. They pay per hour. That is the reason why Nigerians are jackpotting. Because over there, your 5 hours count. You can decide to work 2 places in a day. All right, because you are paid per hour. But here, 6 to 6, just like fasting. All right, and you are paid peanuts. All right, no conducive atmosphere for work, no security. All right, so it becomes the problem. But I want to advise my fellow Nigerian youths: don't bow to the pressure and travel without plan, because it will amount to from frying pan to fire.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, the only way you can enjoy jackpot is where you have plan. Sometimes even we discover that no market in Nigeria have one entrance. They say
one way does not lead to the market.
So one road does not lead to the market. Don't go just to abroad with pali. Your pali might not be important there. Go with skill. What can you do? Nigerians are blessed with skills. In addition to your pali, even the tech, go there with one skill. Or you can. Somebody told me just last Independence Day, they were celebrating, and they were looking for just someone to serve the people meal. Here in Nigeria, that somebody will do freely, and they say, who will serve us? Who will just serve the people for 150 euros? You will serve others and you will serve yourself. All right. So Yeah, things that are not being valued are valued there. That is why people are japa. So, but don't japa because parents are telling you, will sponsor you, you are a graduate. They don't know how well, if you can even defend your certificate. You know, the thing is that only you know yourself. Your parents might just see that you graduated with first class. Nobody know how you got it. Because in Nigeria, anything is possible. You can be a first class holder and you cannot speak your name, you cannot be able to defend it.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So don't japa, and again, it takes boldness. All right. It takes boldness to japa. When you get there, you are not minding the fact that you are not with your family. You'll be able to, there is this characteristics of living things, adaptation. You must have that adaptability capacity, that anywhere you find yourself, you adapt. Whether you have your family or friends there, you can be able to cope before you think of japa.
Yeah, exactly. The Bible is very correct when the Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge."
Yeah.
I say people want to travel out without making findings. I was listening to Sam. She's a speaker, a public speaker, and an author who recently she was once an accountant. Then she swerved, she switched to tech and moved to the US. So she was saying that if you want to japa, make proper planning, make proper findings, make proper research, get knowledge. And one problem with Nigerians is that they just want to, they are so covered with what they are experiencing at that time that they don't remember to make findings. And part of the many things that helped Enosam when she moved to the US is the fact that she made findings even to the point of knowing the Nigerians in diaspora community over there. Because those diaspora community are going to be your succor. They are going to be the first family you will have when you get there. And she said she began to build relationship with them even before she moved. So she kept on, if she sees that, there's a Nigerian who is in this particular place I'm going to, she make findings, she get through to them, begin to build relationship with them. She carried them along on the processes. So she said as soon as she got there, it wasn't, she didn't spend up to a month before getting a job. She didn't spend up to because she has a community over there. So you see that some Nigerians will japa without first of all getting a community that they want to mingle with over there. You just go there blindly. Maybe the only thing that you know is the place you want to stay. And sometimes you discover that some of them go out, they get there, and the people that are supposed to welcome them are nowhere to be found. So there was this guy who said, I was at a conference sometime back. This guy is popularly known as the celebrity carpenter. So he said when he moved to Italy to learn carpentry, he said on getting there, the agent who processed his meeting with the person who wanted to learn carpentry from the Italian man, they did not tell the man that this person is coming to learn. They only tell him that we have a Nigerian who is coming to do business with you. So he said on getting there, he was stranded for 2 weeks. He slept on the cold. Sorry, he slept in the cold for 2 weeks back to back before the man then decided to have a rethink that is like, this guy is willing to learn. What if there is no opportunity like that? So make proper planning, make proper findings. And part of the many things that Nigerians don't put into consideration is that some of these things that we are clamoring about, making fuse about in Nigeria, they don't count over there. Over there, they don't ask you for your degree. Even though your degree is important, they ask for soft skills. Sometimes you see that what they need is, how can you solve this problem? They ask you questions like that. We have a problem now. We have a situation at hand. How can you solve this problem? They want problem-solving skills. So soft skills like this that Nigerians don't put into cognizance are the things that they watch out for. If there is a problem, you have a difficult customer now. How will you address this customer? Nigerians don't put this thing into play. Leadership skills, problem-solving skills, communication skills that is needed for you to, that things that you can easily maneuver your way around. Nigerians don't know all of these things. So learning soft skills too can help Nigerians. And it brings us back to the main problem. The Nigerian government is further pushing our people out to learn skills that will further improve the economy of these countries they are going to. The Nigerian economy will keep on dilapidating.
Sorry to cut you. You see this Japa case we are currently facing in the nation is going to be of importance to Nigeria in future. I tell you, and I would like you to take note of this. It's just a matter of change in leadership in Nigeria. And I tell you, you don't need to beg people to come back home when they are hearing that things are better at home.
Of
They
course,
will come back home.
look at the time of when Alex Oti did the power thing in Abia State.
Okay.
We had some Nigerians in diaspora who were saying, I need to go back to my home. We had some even Nigerians in Nigeria who decided, okay, it's like Abia State is a business-friendly environment.
And things are working there. If you go there now, if you go to Abia State now, you will know that you don't, just like what the current government is busy doing, talking. You don't talk. They say action speaks louder than voice, right? We are in a computer age whereby you do not need to actually tell somebody that something home is sweet to come back home. Regardless of what we are facing in the country, this saying that there is no place like home still stands. That is why you see once they go out and make money, they come back home, which means they have home in mind. All right. So all these skills Nigerians are going out, these advancements they are going out to get, Nigeria is still going to enjoy it. Why it seems as if people are trooping out is because the governance of Nigeria has made people to feel insecure. There is no plan in place for the people. The plan and the policies are the ones that the politicians, our leaders are enjoying. The masses are not enjoying it. So once Nigerians in diaspora notice that home is now good, they will come back.
I think, but by then, let's keep our fingers crossed, until the Nigerian government creates an enabling environment.
Sure.
Nobody wants to come back to
Not at all.
fault.
Not at all.
You see, we have a lot of our leaders who are supposed to be an example, who are also out of the country. So if our leaders are out of the country, what do you think will become of the followers? So until there is an enabling environment is created for Nigeria to be conducive for people to stay, people will not have a rethink about coming back to the country because the economy is not favoring even businesses.
Why I say what I said is because it will not continue like this forever. I tell you, everything that is not working well will surely be fixed someday.
Yeah.
It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but all I know is that the Nigeria we are experiencing now is not going to be the Nigeria we will experience forever. Everything has expiration date. It's a matter of time. This thing will end. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that what we are going through in Nigeria, which was brought upon Nigeria by bad leadership, is going to end someday. And I tell you, once this thing ends, there will still be a massive home, return home, because no place can be like home.
All right. So we're wrapping up with this conversation already, so we can move on to our next conversation and quickly brief on it because of our time. So before we go into the next conversation, we know you've been able to take one or two lessons from this segment of Japa. We'd also like to hear your own thoughts on it. You can do well to communicate with us on our social media handles that will be given to you at the end of the show. But then let's go on a quick break, and when we get back, we'll move on to the next conversation.
Jane, what's wrong? How do you get what?
I've been scrolling all day to see where I can get these shoes.
Have you tried online vendors?
Yes, but I haven't found anyone like it.
How about Remy Global Resources?
Remy? I'll check it out. If I don't get to see where I can get these shoes, I'll just give up on it. Oh my god, I found it!
At Remy Global Resources, this is how we put a smile on the face of our customers. We do not only make you see what you want, we also get it delivered to you at your doorstep. Why wait? Visit remy.com.ng to buy from us today. You can also sell your products on our website. Delivery within Lagos takes only 3 working days. Interstate delivery takes 7 to 14 working days. Contact the number on your screen for more details. Terms and conditions applied.
All right, welcome back to the show. So we are moving on to our next conversation, and thank God, the one who will be discussing this segment with me is a man too. So I would like to hear your own take. So this lady took to her social media and she shared a DM of a male admirer who has been sending her messages upon messages. Then she decided she didn't reply the messages, and it is quite understandable because for somebody like me on messengers, I hardly reply to my message because you'll be seeing a lot of hello hangles, hello square, hello love, my love. You don't even know the person you are chatting with, and you're calling them your love already. So this guy, he has been sending messages upon messages. Then he now sent this one and said, we'll have the video on display while I read it. She said, the guy said, some of una go carry sacrifice before you go see husband. I because I had the interest in you and I decided to say it to you in your DM, and I get to know each other better. You won't spend, I don't even know. I can't even get what he's saying. That they use and way I suppose use type clients to type for you. You still they see my messages, no reply. Very poor, proud girl. So my gender has been accused of being very poor and proud because she didn't reply a DM. I remembered I had this experience I was sharing with you. I had this experience about 2 months ago, then another experience just last week. The 2 months ago is this guy. He said he sent me a DM and he said, oh, it seems that you look marriageable. For the first time on Messenger, you look marriageable, and I'm a responsible young man. I am willing to get married to you. By the time you think about my proposal, get back to me so you don't miss out of your destiny helper, because I'm the ordained man for you.
Wow.
And I was like, I just look at the message, and he was practically stalking me on social media. And I read the message. I was like, what is this? If at some point I had to block him, I was like, what was all this? You're messaging me for the first time. And the second one, this guy met me. I was on my way back from a class, and he met me on the street. We talked to my bus stop because I wanted to get a bus that would take me back to my destination. And I gave him my contacts. Immediately after, he started messaging me, oh, it is love at first sight. I love you so much that I cannot even do without you. I cannot, he began to send all of these messages. And I was like, how come you met somebody in less than 24 hours and you cannot do without the person already? He said, hey, I know the reason why you are saying that, because actually gave him my WhatsApp contact. I don't do call. If you are meeting with me for the first time, I want to see your communication skills. Chat with me. Let me see how you type. Let me assess you from there. And this guy, he was sending abbreviation, sending all sorts of things. Then he concluded and said, I know the reason why you are saying all of these things because you have been outspoken before. If you have not been outspoken, you would have believed me when I came to you. I know girls like you. All this thing, he was sending, I didn't reply. He was just sending them back to back. I know girls like you. You have been outspoken. You have met with men that jilted you. That's why you're not responding. That's why you're treating me this way. He came to the conclusion about me without knowing me. In less than 24 hours, you came to the conclusion. So, I was like, since you are a man, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is how men do. Maybe this is how your gender do. I need you to let our viewers get these things straight of what your gender is doing to the ladies. I mean, what is all this? Like, she has to carry. Has it gotten this bad?
Okay.
Can't we have social media self-esteem again?
All right. Okay. Just like this, first of all, I would say it begins with not being original. If they say there's this adage in Igbo, like good product sells itself. All right, like you don't need to convince somebody. This thing good though. This thing go last though. There are things you see. When you get to the market, there are things you see, even though you didn't budget for them. We feel like, or let's assume you budgeted a certain amount for it, and you discover that it's now higher than that amount because you know the value. You add money to buy it without being persuaded by the seller. That is one thing I used to tell guys. First of all, there are processes to things, but I believe it takes. That is why I used to tell people, the holy book said, in all your gettings, get wisdom. It is lack of wisdom that becomes the genesis of these things. All right. If you are wise enough as a man, you should know that there are processes to things. Just imagine the scenario, the cases you just talked about within 24 hours. And somebody, and I used to tell guys, I used to tell ladies, as a man, I say, funny enough, men are like, there are some men, there are some names that are peculiar to men. Names like Linus. I used to say that men are, they are the only gender that bear that name. And men lie a lot, in as much as ladies do lie. How can somebody meet you today and at night he's telling you that I cannot sleep without you?
Azine, it shocked me.
So you should know when somebody is even lying to you.
Yeah.
As a lady, no, you should know when somebody is lying to you. So that is why lack of this knowledge is the reason many people are falling victim of deception. Somebody met you, no serious person, every serious man understand the law of process. Every serious man understand respect process. So you know that things, you don't just set up a building one day. There are foundation to things. So when you are not good enough, you want to fake yourself. That is when you begin to cook up stories. You don't want to give the person time to see things themselves. All right, just like what we are experiencing in Nigeria government today. They are telling us things, but we can't see the thing. The thing they are saying is not reflecting in what we are seeing. All right. So if you don't have the qualities you've attached to yourself, that is when you begin to rush things. All right. You don't want to give that person time to find out the real person in you. But the thing is that attitude is like smoke. With time, it will surely find its way.
Yeah, of
out.
course. And I think it is high time everybody learn social media etiquette.
Very
You
important.
see, I've heard stories of people who met the love of their life on social media. I have met good people on social media, and they all come from etiquette. There was a project I did in 2020. It was funded by a guy I met on social media. I have a particular machine at home. It was funded by someone I met on social media. There was a time I wanted to pay my school fees when I was in school. It was a woman I met on social media who paid that, and who paid the school fees. And this woman is not even in Nigeria. She's based in Canada. Just because of social media etiquette, you can't just keep on going to people's DM and be saying rubbish. The fact that everybody is online does not mean that everybody is your mate.
It's true.
The fact that you are chatting with this person is all chatty, this person is talking, this person is, all playful on social media, does not mean you can disrespect them. You just see people, they will be abusing their there was this movie I watched of a lady who I was trolling another businesswoman online. And, the woman wanted to call her out on social media, and our friends were just begging her, leave her alone. Then years after, this particular lady who was trailing another person, she came to this particular woman's office to seek employment. And the woman was like, oh, can I have your social media handle? Then she already, because she loved her personality, the outward personality she portrayed. And she was like, okay, let me just, if one final question, your social media handle. Then on checking the social media handle, she discovered it was the same person who was trolling her years back on social media. Then out of that misrepresentation, she sent her out. So people must learn social media etiquette. Like, I don't go to people's DM and say, hey, hello, love, hi, dear. No, you respect people with courtesy. I don't go to your DM without having tangible things to say. I can't just go to your DM and say, hi, how are you doing? No, I won't do that. There must have been a reason that brought me to your DM, and I will address you with respect. Hello, good afternoon. I saw something on your timeline that caught my attention, and I don't mind if you give me audience so we can talk about it. You may not necessarily use the Sam thing, but then you are according them with respect. That is social media etiquette. So I think it is high time every Nigerian learn how to social media etiquette. You don't just go to people's DM and be saying, just imagine what this one is. Some of you have to be carrying sacrifice. Which sacrifice I beg? Which sacrifice I beg?
The thing is that my gender can be very funny. The thing is
No,
that
like if you are frustrated, go and vent your frustration elsewhere, not in
the,
people's
the the
DM.
truth is that when my gender come across ladies, there are two reasons why they want to be with you. I want to take an instance from what happened to uh, Jesus Christ when he finished fasting. When he saw the fig tree from afar, the fig tree attracted him. Why? Because what caught his attention to the fig tree was because he was hungry. There are some men that when they come across a lady, they want to settle down. Right? Sometimes not knowing the right way to go about things can actually make you miss out when you even come across the right person. Not knowing, that is why the Bible says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Things have been put in place. The right person has been brought your way, but lack of knowledge in the way you go about things can as well make you miss out of God's plan.
And this comes to conversation on for men. You see, we always hear that women are improving on them. When you hear personal development, they mostly attribute it to women. If you want to go to your husband's house, you must be able to do this, you must be able to do that. What happened to the man? You see that the only conversation they have with men is how to make money, how you can expand your wealth, how you can do this. But most time, these other soft things that is needed to make a man, like communication skills, like the right way to communicate, like hearing your views and all of those things, you see that men don't really improve on that area.
Not all men. It is always an error to generalize a thing. There are men. You see,
No, but the conversation is not as loud as it is for women. That's the point I'm driving at. That it is not as loud as they used to make it for women to. They mount it on women to improve on personal development.
Do you know why
But for men, it is not always loud.
Do you know why it is always like that? You see, let me tell you the truth here and our viewers that to every home where there is quietness, I can say it can let me say on a very high percent be attributed to the woman.
No, now we are not talking about marriage now.
Now
we are not talking about a home that is settled. Personal development, as in, we are picking it from the perspective of this man that said a woman has to carry sacrifice. What happened to the place of patience? What happened to the place of self-control? What happened to the place of tolerance, perseverance? What happened to those places? These things are things that you see women practicing even beforehand. Now we are looking at it from the perspective of before marriage. Personally, as an individual, there are things that common sense will tell you that this person is not checking my message,
or does not
probably because look at it is a message sent on Messenger. And Messenger will always tell you if somebody has sent your message or not. Messenger will first of all send message requests. I'm not making adverts for this app, but I'm just giving the breakdown. They'll first of all send you as message requests. Sometimes you don't get to see this message requests until you open it. So there's a place of common sense. That common sense will tell you that this person is not seeing my message, probably because I'm yet to become a friend with her on Messenger. And we can see this thing even in real life setting, where you just jump at a woman and say, will you marry me, and you expect her to say yes, when you have not built a foundation, you have not built a platform for conversing with a woman. Build a relationship, start with friendship, know her do's and don'ts. You get to convert. You just jump at her, will you marry me? If you don't marry me, you have missed it in life. You see, this thing is a personal experience for me. That's why I'm taking it very personal. That the place of personal development for men, it should be louder.
What even makes that man feel that he is your destiny helper? All right, you see, what I would say is this: man should learn to understand that first of all, you must be accepted, and when you're accepted by an opposite sex, there's a way they treat you. All right, so nobody. If to me, I used to say that if the feeling is not mutual, if you might try further, but once you know that your care, your attention is not being reciprocated, there is no need to complain. All right, you might want me and I don't want you. I might want you, you don't want me. So you need to first of all check: does this person want me? Is my attention, my care being reciprocated? That is my advice to men. Because if these things I'm saying now are considered, this response will not be coming, right? Because first of all, this person might even be busy. sometimes that somebody is online, your data can be online. It does not mean you are online in all the platform that especially Messenger, right? So first of all, there are people you will charge. You discover that their data is always on, but they are not online because they are busy. The country we are now requires that you are busy. If not, you will beg for cocoa. All right. So first of all, is the person even online? And if the person has not received the message and you have, it's not they do or die affair, it's not a must. All right, this person has refused to accept you. There are people 1001 people are there that might likely accept you. Why abuse? Why telling them they need to carry sacrifice? All right, so I think this kind of response, even if the lady was intending to consider, he has just nailed it.
He has just opened
So my wonderful gender, relationship or friendship is not by force
at all.
Somebody
and there are processes to these things.
And
we
again, you don't
understand
need to
that.
tell somebody that you are the destiny helper. With time, they see it. It is not hard and difficult to tell people good things about yourself, but time will reveal your true identity. All right, so you don't need to start painting yourself green and white, green, white, green, like Nigeria flag. All right, with time, from your action, from the way you talk, from your appearance, they will get to know more of the things you even didn't tell them of yourself. So you don't need to start painting yourself Mr. President of Nigeria when you know you are not. All right. So nobody needs to carry sacrifice because even you might not be with this kind of response from a man. It's a red flag. It's a red flag. No man with temperance.
Exactly. Obviously, he has temperament issues. No, he has anger issues. Obviously, because somebody did not reply. And you say, I'm just going to conclude on this note that it is high time people need to pay, both genders need to pay attention to themselves. And so, one thing I love about myself is that every day, at the end of every day, there is a subconscious part of me that comes back to me and say, "You said this thing earlier. Is that how you are supposed to say it?" I do a reflection of myself every day to see things that I have done, how I can do better,
and that
how I should have done it.
To apologize after wronging anybody.
Exactly. So I think it is high time people need to pay attention to themselves. That you don't just say things and at the end, after saying that that's how I am. Take me, that's me. You take me as I am. What kind of, how can I take?
Jesus
are you Jesus Christ that I will take as you are? So I think it is high time people need to pay attention to themselves and work on improving themselves and know the etiquette guiding every platform, every aspect of their life, every platform they find themselves. That you don't just do things because you want to do it. There are things that I would want to post on social media sometimes, and I will just feel this restriction. No, don't do that. Don't post that. Don't say that. There are things that I just want to give people some buzz response, and the subconscious will just come to me. No, you can't do that. You have to be cautious. You are a person of courtesy. You don't want to be misinterpreted. And this is social media. This thing is going to be there for life. We have just virtually all the social media platform is trending this now. You are there, that brother with anger issues. So people need to pay attention to themselves.
There is a good side to this. From this, there's a lesson I'm drawing from this now. If not for the silence, let's assume, silence can actually help you to know somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
This lady has, has considered or replied this man. This part of him wouldn't have manifested. All right. So you won't know that you are dealing with a man with the almighty mindset.
Yes, so
that I am in your life so that you won't carry sacrifice. All right. That is, this man mentality is a mentality of men that feel like once they marry you, they own
egocentric.
They own you. They feel like if I had not married you, I marry you to help you. It bothers me why some men will have that kind of mindset that they marry a woman. Marriage is partnership, and every partner has a role, a part they are playing. You can't marry yourself. Just as God, I have to tell people, I say, even God that creates us need us because he can't praise himself. All right. You can't marry yourself as a man. You need a woman to be complete. And a woman needs man to be complete too. So you are not happy. It's not as if you are helping me and I'm not happy. We are both helping ourselves. So
course.
without this silent note or silent attitude, this part of the man wouldn't have manifested. So I think silence is also a way of getting to know some people,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know if you are just they are talking and you are responding, you wouldn't know what they would have what is inside of them. So
Mm.
silence can help to bring out the beast in a
In
man.
people. Yeah, exactly. So on this note, we are wrapping up this conversation. We started with the Japa syndrome. The Nigerian government needs to really do something, because according to the NIS, they said that the rate at which the passport demand increased since 2023 till now is about 2.1 million Nigerians are going to the are applying for this passport. We took this conversation down to the different factors that could have contributed to the Japa syndrome. Then we wrapped up with this conversation on social media etiquette. It is not everything that you say online. It is not everything that you discuss. There are some things that you just have to. On this note, I'm just going to end with "it is well," like the believers would always say. So before we leave the studio, would like that you follow us on all our social media platform. On Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Prime Media Studios. On the website where you're currently watching us, we are enginespeak.com. You can do well to follow us on YouTube at Engine Speak. I am Ayo until I bring the lifestyle segment with you on Wednesday, which is next week Wednesday. Do have a great day. Bye.